Chris Chinnock here from ISE 2013. I'm in the DNP booth with Soren Lindegaard, and we're going to talk about your Invisibezel technology. So if you're looking through the camera right now, you can see on the left, on your left side, is a 2x2 array with these are 55-inch Samsung 46-inch
Yes.
a Samsung narrow bezel. What's the bezel width on those?
5.6 millimeter.
5.6 millimeter. Okay, so that's a standard narrow bezel video wall. On this side, you can see this with the Invisibezel technology. So, and I think it should be very obvious that you can see the bezels here, and you really can't see the bezels over here. So, please tell us exactly how this technology works.
The technology works in the way that we are putting a front cover on the panel itself. It's an acrylic element which have a kind of a lens structure. So optically we are magnifying the image on the LCD panel so that it stretches out over the bezel. And in that way optically you are hiding the bezel so that it becomes invisible.
So this is actually a fairly substantial acrylic attachment that goes over the flat panel, and I can see it's pretty thick and probably a little bit heavy too. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's the thickness is 15 millimeter. The weight is about 11 kilogram, roughly 20 pounds for the 46-inch panel.
Right.
And you're right, it actually sits on the front of the LCD panel, and it's attached to each individual LCD panel, so you can actually bring them up and down one by one the panels, including the Invisibezel.
Right.
And the fixation is relatively simple. That can be done within 5-10 minutes for each panel.
Now it's not a permanent. You can remove the bezel.
You can remove it, and the installation is so simple that you can do it on the installation side. You don't have to bring the panel to a special facility for mounting this Invisibezel. That can be done very easily in the field.
Oh, okay. That's very handy then.
Yeah.
Now, when I went up and looked at it previously, you could see there's a little bit of curvature where the bezel, for the bezel between the two panels. That is the optical curvature that you have to get. And again, when you go up close, you can start to see little, a series of black lines. That's actually the pixel structure, as you explained to me, correct?
Right. That's perfectly correct what you say. It is a magnification that you do. It also means that the area where you're magnifying the image, the pixels actually appear larger.
Yeah.
So you will see it as a kind of a slight structure in the image when you really go close to the display.
Right. And we actually looked at some spreadsheets with this, and you can see there is a little bit of distortion over that edge. But of course, you're not going to really use this for spreadsheets. But it's just to show there's a little bit of optical distortion. But for images and video, it's essentially invisible.
Yeah, our experience is that even though that you have a slight distortion in the transition areas, it really doesn't matter compared to the benefit of having an invisible bezel.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So you're showing this here really to gather feedback from the industry in terms of the best applications for this. What's the feedback been so far?
Well, the feedback have been in general very positive. Everybody recognizes that this is a new innovative product. It's something new to the industry. You see these traditional super narrow bezel LCD flat panels all over. Yeah. Now there's something that is modifying the product. That itself is very interesting. And of course the feature that you actually can hide the bezels is very appealing to a lot of people that have been here. Okay. The thing that is a bit hard to nail down is really what exactly the applications will be. As we look at it here, it looks very impressive when you look at it from straight forward in front of the display. When you go more off-axis to steeper viewing angles, the bezels start to appear more visible than they are from this position.
Yes.
So
yeah.
It means
I noticed that.
Yeah, for an application where you really are looking at the display from this direction, it's super. If you need to look at it from a variety of viewing angles, it's probably not as convincing as you see it here.
Yeah, yeah. And it's got a little bit of glare to it also, I noticed.
Yeah, that's we would like really to avoid that, but that's the nature of the product, that it needs to have a glossy surface to still generate a good image quality. And that means that you will have some mirror reflections to some extent.
Sure.
Yeah.
So have you thought about how you would price this thing if you commercialize this yet? What kind of a premium?
Yeah, the price is not fixed yet, but it will be in the range of approximately 25% on top of the cost of the LCD panel itself,
Okay.
which we believe is an affordable price for those end users who really want to get rid of the bezel completely.
Yeah, yeah, and it certainly does work, again, at these distances and a nice straight-on viewing angle.
Yeah.
It is just quite evident. So great, Soren, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And we ask all you to come and take a look at this. It's really worth taking a look at. Okay, Chris Chinnock for Display Central.